In this week's episode of Our Poor Decisions, we are continuing our dive into the 2000 Bordeaux vintage.
I am really excited.
In the last episode, we covered the First Growth of the Medoc on the left bank. And this week, we're moving to Saint Emilion on the right bank. Chateau Ausone, Angelus, and Cheval Blanc are probably the biggest names in Saint Emilion, but if you're not as familiar with them as the First Growth of the left bank, consider the fact that the 1947 Cheval Blanc is considered one of the most widely forged wines in history. Yes, this was one of Rudy Kurniawan's favorite targets because of the wine's almost mythical status in the world of wine collectors. Join us today to learn more about these legendary chateaux from the celebrated 2000 vintage. Oh, and let's hope Pops doesn't get another corked bottle.
Why is this happening? And what have I done to deserve this?
Right.
Hi, wine lovers. Welcome to another episode of Our Poor Decisions.
And we're on our second leg of the 2000s Bordeaux tasting. Pops, how are you feeling about this one?
Well, do you want to clarify your question?
Well, you didn't exactly nail it the last blind tasting.
It was a bit humbling, wasn't it?
But that's okay because it just shows our viewers that we're real and honest with them.
Exactly, B. You know what? I really appreciate your support.
Well, are you just gonna guess random this time? You might do better.
Really?
Or you could guess the same wine every single time and you're guaranteed to get one right.
From my own daughter. My own daughter. Wow.
Okay, I am starting to feel bad now. Do you want to just get started?
Let's get going. It's easy to default to many of the left bank wines when discussing Bordeaux. But then you'd really miss out on some incredible wines in the States. The big names in Pomerol, of course, are Petrus and Lafleur. While in Saint Emilion, Cheval Blanc and Ausone were the two top names for decades. But they've since been joined by Angelus, Pavie, and Figeac. The Saint Emilion classification has been subject to controversy and lawsuits, to the point where Cheval Blanc, Ausone, and Angelus now have all withdrawn from the classification altogether. Were we to judge all the Saint Emilion Chateaux based on price alone, Ausone, Cheval Blanc, and Angelus would rank 1, 2, and 3 in that order. But now, as you know quite well from our prior tastings, we don't always think price is the best indicator of quality. But $1,000? Come on.
I could think of a lot of things I would want to buy for $1,000.
And let's see if that holds true today.
Welcome, Stacey.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, Pops, what's worse? That last tasting, you got all of them wrong despite your confidence, or was it the corked Latour?
Oh.
You know what? She's relentless, Stacey. I gotta tell you, she is all over it. And I think she's really enjoying the fact that,
That we loved it? Yeah.
It was a little humiliating. That's what blind tastings are for.
Well, I actually think I was wrong. I think you did get one right, so.
Hey, you know what I'm proud of? Is we had a corked Latour and I didn't start crying. I mean, that would have been embarrassing. I held it together.
We're all proud of you.
So, Stacey, last episode, we tried all the top wines from Medoc.
Mm-hmm.
And in this episode, we're trying the top wines of Saint Emilion.
Correct.
Is that how you say it?
I don't speak French, but Saint Emilion is how I say it.
So what's the difference between those two regions?
So you're talking left bank versus right bank, right? When you face the map, it's your left hand, right hand. How we kind of look at what sides of the river. On the left bank in the Medoc, we are talking about Cabernet-based blends. And on the right bank in Saint Emilion or Pomerol, it's mostly Merlot and Cabernet Franc-based blends. So all of those are Bordeaux varietals. All of them get blended together, but the lead star of the show is totally different on either side of the river.
So tasting-wise, what can we expect?
So soils are different, the climates are a little bit different. Cabernet Sauvignon tends to have way more tannins, lots of structure, bigger wines, higher alcohol. Merlot, Cabernet Franc. Merlot tends to add all of the plush, ripe, silky kind of character to it. Cab Franc brings a lot of herbal characteristics. Not quite as much tannin, although that is still there. My guess is going to be herbally and then plush and ripe and silky.
That sounds good to me.
And you know what? When your mom and I visited Saint Emilion, that was probably our favorite place in Bordeaux.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a beautiful medieval town. I mean, as picturesque as you can possibly get it. Great wine, great food. That's really worth a visit.
That sounds really romantic.
So we're doing the same thing as last time. Horizontal, single blind.
Okay.
we know what the wines are, right? Angelus, Cheval Blanc, Ausone. But B, you have all the power once again.
Yeah, I did label the glasses and I labeled the bottles, so there's absolutely no question that these are the right wines that are in these glasses.
All right, and for each one of these wines, the viewers will know because we've done an introductory video. We're covering the different chateaus. We, of course, will not know. So you at home watching this will be the experts and you'll see what we're tasting.
And how ridiculous we are when we try and tell you what it is.
Hopelessly lost we are. But the point is what we taste and how we describe them is still true, right?
Correct.
Well, before we start, if you are enjoying our content, please subscribe, like, and show some love in the comments and follow us on Instagram.
And we're supposed to start with one, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, I think we should go ahead and start there.
It seems like the right way to go.
Chateau Ausone traces its history all the way back to Roman times. And for centuries, the 17-acre Ausone vineyard, which sits on the limestone plateau and steep hillside, was regarded as the top piece of real estate in Saint Emilion. The Ausone cellars are carved into the limestone hillside. For a long time, the chateau was co-owned by two families who didn't always get along. After the Second World War, Ausone suffered from lack of investment and modernization. But this all changed when the Alain Vauthier gained control in the 1990s and dramatically improved quality. The Ausone wines are heavy on Cabernet Franc and considered extremely age-worthy. Today, the chateau is managed by Pauline Vauthier, Alain's daughter. Parker gave the wine a perfect score when it was released in 2003, and Wine Spectator was not far behind at 97. The Cellar Tracker community rates the wine 96.3, which is incredibly high. So the first thing that hit me was that all of these are very similar in color, right?
They really, really are.
There is just minimal amount of bricking.
Yeah, they still look quite young.
When, I opened them, the corks were perfect. There was no seepage whatsoever. It looked really young. The corks looked like they could last 100 years. They really did.
So what do you guys get on the nose?
There's a lot of bruised red fruit in there.
So this strikes me as pretty structured.
How do you know that it's structured?
I don't know, obviously. It doesn't smell like sweet,
No.
coming in there's none of that.
No, the red fruit that I'm getting is bruised and a little bit older age to it. There's something really neatly minerally high tone acid to it too.
Is it eucalyptus?
Ooh, that's a neat call.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
So yeah,
right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, it definitely tastes different than the left bank.
Okay, it definitely tastes different to me. Man, that minerality is intense. The structure call from you on the nose, I think, is totally there. So much minerality. It's very grippy. The tannins are really nice. The acidity is super tingly. My mouth is watering.
I love this wine. Can I just say that?
Yes, you can totally say that.
What I like about this is it does have some fruit. I think there's a little bit of oak here. I think there's a little bit of, little bit of tertiary things coming through. Not dominant, but just, this is really interesting. And it's got a lot of things going for it.
For sure.
Wow. You want another sip.
Yeah. So any guesses or inklings of what this could be?
Last episode where I was so confident and just this is it.
Yeah.
I don't have the same level of confidence now that I've been humbled. I just feel like maybe I should wait to taste some of the others before I make up my mind.
No.
How do you feel?
You guys need to just guess right now.
I'll guess right now, but I may change my mind later.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because I'm looking for some of the limestone characteristics for one of the wines. I'm looking for a little more oak in one of them. There are a few telltale things from the winemaking processes for these guys that I'm kind of trying to pick out. I'm going to say this is Ausone.
I'm going to say this is Angelus.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to number 2.
I'm going to
All
try
right.
this.
Chateau Angelus takes its name from the fact that you can hear 3 different church bells in this particular vineyard. The chateau has been owned by the same family, de Bois de la Forêt, since 1782. Big changes were made in the 1980s when Hubert de Bois took the helm and revolutionized the winemaking. He lowered the yields, implemented stricter fruit selection, took later harvest, on 100% new oak aging with malolactic fermentation in barrel. If that sounds a lot like the principles advocated at the garagiste movement, you are absolutely correct. Make sure you check out our video on Le Pen. Parker awarded the wine 96 points when it was released in 2003, but later upgraded it to 99 points. The Wine Spectator gave the wine 97 upon release, the same as Ausone. The Cellar Tracker community rates the wine at 95.0.
This one smells older to me.
It smells older, but it does still smell pretty similar.
Very similar. There's a little more kind of like funkiness to this.
It's got a little bit of bread to it, and I
It's
like it. You know I do.
What are you giggling over there about?
No, I'm not giggling about anything. Jeff keeps giving me looks and then he's making me laugh.
What about fruit? Get as much as
I don't get as much as this one.
Yeah.
For me, the Brit and the earthy, that like foresty, herbally,
Yep.
barnyard, like all of those fun, funky flavors are way more components of this one.
Yep.
This one has the fruit. This one has the funk.
I agree with that. Give it a try?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I kind of get more, it's more woody. Is that a thing? Is that what I'm tasting? I don't know.
A little less acidity too. Yeah, it's got the texture of.
You
of
think
spinning
there's less
summertime.
acidity?
Yeah, this one made my mouth water so much more.
Oh, you know
No?
what? You're right.
It's still got great texture. The second wine, the tingle on my tongue is still great. Like it's active and things are happening, and I really enjoy that. My mouth was still watering at this point on wine 1, and it's really not with 2. It's almost a little sour too.
Mm-hmm.
Like some the bits of fruit that I get in the middle
Just
palate is a little
bitter,
bit
yes.
like sour
A
candy.
little bit bitter, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit bitter.
All right, so I still love this wine,
Oh yeah.
but I love the nose better than it's got a great nose,
Mm-hmm.
but it was maybe a tiny letdown.
So what do you guys think this one could be?
I'm gonna put. What did I say this one was?
That was
This
your
one was
Ausone.
Ausone, and this one's gonna be my Cheval Blanc.
I'm going to agree with you on that. So which one do you like better?
I think number 1. Yeah.
One?
I would say that.
Okay.
For sure. And I think we kind of all agree that we like number 1 better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we move on to number 3?
The Cheval Blanc estate was split up from the huge property of Chateau Figeac in the 1830s. The 15 hectares or 37 acres were sold to Jean-Jacques Ducasse, a Libourne négociant. The label and name Cheval Blanc, White Horse, was first used in 1852. Over the years, Cheval Blanc developed almost a mythical status. As Bea mentioned earlier, the 1947 vintage was subject to extensive forgery, and in the movie Sideways, well, Miles, he drinks his most prized bottle, the 61 Cheval Blanc, alone out of a styrofoam cup in a fast food restaurant. Cheval Blanc was purchased by Bernard Arnault in 1998 and is today one of the gems in the LVMH empire. First and foremost, the wines are known for their balance and silkiness. Parker also awarded the Cheval Blanc a perfect score of 100 when it was released, but Wine Spectator did not agree and gave the wine only 93 points. The Cellar Tracker community rates the wine 96.2, however, right up there with Ausone. This will be interesting for sure. I am not a surgeon, but I think this surgery went well.
This one's also got some funk on the nose.
Yeah, but not as much. And I'm getting a Brett here, right?
I don't get Brett, but it has definitely got like some agey, mushroomy kind of funk to it.
Mm-hmm.
This one smells older. Like fruit and funk and age. Actually, number 3. It's a little older.
B, what do you think?
I see what you mean, how it kind of smells like too, but also not really.
Yeah.
You really have to work to get the flavors out of the glass, right? Like it's not like just coming up and hitting you in the face. It's like you got to work it.
Yeah.
But when you do, it feels or smells really like harmonious. I don't know that how you can even say that, but you know what I mean? Like this, I think this is going to taste really good. All right, well, let's give it a try. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Now that one
Yeah.
leaves my mouth watering.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of acidity.
It is a lot. It also feels like it could be opened a little longer. Like it feels a little tight still.
I really like this though.
It's delightful. I mean, they're all pretty
I
delightful.
really like this. This is
Yeah, this one might be my favorite. I'm not sure though. Between 1 and 3. Well, it's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's like as easy drinking as the ones we tried last episode. But my mouth is watering. I keep wanting to sip it again. So I think that's probably why I like it.
It's always a good sign. I think for me, 2 can age a little bit longer, right? It's got something going on. It's fascinating, but I want a little more time with this one.
So after trying number 3, do you guys want to make any changes to your guesses?
I don't know. No, I think I'm going to stick with it. Let's get proven wrong.
I'm thinking 1 is Angelus, right?
Yeah.
2 is Cheval Blanc, and 3 is Ausone, for me.
Okay.
And I'm just flipping the A's.
The only wine that we're really missing here is Chateau Pavis,
Yes.
but I do not have it. I don't have it in my cellar. It wasn't something that I could pull the cork on, but I would have loved to taste 2000 Pavis, which is supposedly a fantastic bottle of wine
Great.
next to these. But these are, well, 3 really good, with I think 1 and 3 for me, the favorites.
I would agree. 1 and 3 are my favorites as well.
Ones.
Are you guys ready for the reveal though?
100%.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait.
100%.
Wine number 1. Stacey got it right. Oh, wait, let me make sure.
I should have gone with B strategy.
Just guess the same thing every time.
Okay.
Just
all
go
right.
with go with the you know what? I just think that wine number 3 is Angelus. All
Wine number 2 is Angelus.
Ah. So the one we agreed on, we both got wrong. Okay, fine. And then this is Cheval.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wine number 3 is Cheval Blanc.
Interesting. I'm okay with all of these things.
Really?
Hey,
Yeah.
but you know what? Last time you got 1 right, Stacey got 0 right, so it's only fair
It's
that
only fair.
Stacey wins this time.
Are you
Almost
suggesting
by
I got
default.
all 3 wrong?
I wasn't suggesting anything. I was saying the facts.
Let's see. Out of 7 wines, I've guessed 1 right. Even
Same.
if I knew what the wines were when I tasted them.
I mean, that has to hurt a little.
I feel like my ego is a little bruised. What was the biggest surprise to you?
That I got one right? I guess that no matter how much I knew about these wines and how similar the production methods, how close they are, all of these things, and how, ostensibly similar the wines themselves are, that they each have something that's really still distinctive.
So now we've tasted 7 wines.
Yes.
4 from, really 6 wines.
Right. Let's
Right?
just say six.
The
The Bad Latour doesn't count.
Bad Latour doesn't count. What's your takeaways from the 2000 vintage? Because this was like the vintage, right?
Which is crazy, again, because they're, different sides of the river, different soils, different grape varietals, different blends. Like, it's crazy how consistently delicious all these wines are.
Yeah.
Like, across the board, 2000 seems to be amazing. Vintage of the century, I don't know, but pretty dang great. Now, admittedly, we tasted the cream of the crop. We tasted the best guys.
Yes, we did.
We're not tasting, just Bordeaux AOC. These are the Grand Cru, Premier Cru wineries. But they did an amazing job across the board. It's pretty stellar.
So we have 2 more tastings that we're going to have the 2000 vintage. We're going to do one on Petrus. We're actually going to do a 2000 Petrus against a Massetto.
Can we watch Sideways first?
Yeah, we absolutely have to do that. But then we're also going to look at some of the Grand Cru Classes below kind of the first growth that we did. And then we also are going to look at Aubryon and La Mission Aubryon. So we're going to try really a lot of wines from 2000s. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Jeff, why don't you give Aaron no cheers? So we're going to have our favorite wine. Wow. Okay. Are you going to have a glass of wine, Johnny?
Sweet dog.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
You stole my wine again.
Let's do this again.